Woodman here. It's Tuesday, July 9th, 2024. So I want to read you a 2021 article about mind reading technology that was used in a murder case in Dubai back in 2021. That's right, 3 years ago. The Dubai police cracked a murder case using brain fingerprint technology for the first time. And brain fingerprint is in quotes there because, it's not exactly what it does, but it's how they've labeled it. The officers use a smart analysis device that measures brain waves when the suspect sees the images of the tools used in the crime or the location and provides a thorough image of the crime scene. Regarding the details of the murder case in which the Dubai police used the memory print technology, Lieutenant Colonel Mohammed Isa Al Hamadi confirmed that the case was a murder in a warehouse where several people work. Hamadi said that the police showed pictures of the crime scene to those present at the place, and there was one person whose brain emitted strong waves when he was shown a tool used in the crime. So in other words, you had like a group of people. We don't know which of these people were involved. We just know they were there, and they used this process of elimination to get to a singular suspect. So Hamadi said that police experts have carefully selected the photos so that they are related to the incident, and that only those people will identify the images who were present or were involved in the crime. Hamadi said that when the sessions ended, the agency issued a detailed report to the experts about the identity of the person or criminal, who confessed to the details of the crime and eventually the way he planned it. This success came after the forensic psychology, I apologize, forensic psychology experts in the Department of Criminology were able to apply the memory fingerprint in their work tasks and conducted many experiments for a year. Wow. I mean, that's kind of sobering a thought, right? So the use of this type of brain imaging will help police in their tasks, and it will speed up the process of identifying the perpetrators of the crime and presenting evidence to the judicial authorities to achieve justice. Now, already I'm starting to think about our Bill of Rights here in America if they were trying to bring this technology to the U.S. Major General Dr. Ahmad Eid Al Mansouri, director of the General Department of Forensic Evidence and Criminology, praised the efforts of the experts who worked diligently for a whole year on conducting experiments using the memory fingerprint and then applying it with great professionalism in a murder case and achieving qualitative results. I mean, that's kind of almost reminds me of that movie Minority Report, which actually was a novel from Philip K. Dick, a science fiction novel. Major General Dr. Ahmed Eid Al Mansouri affirmed that the General Department of Forensic Evidence and Criminology, under the direction of Lieutenant General Abdullah Khalifa Al Mari, Commander in Chief of the Dubai Police, and the follow up of Major General Khalil Ibrahim Al Mansouri, Assistant Commander in Chief for Criminal Investigation Affairs, is keen to apply the latest smart technologies and techniques for cracking complicated cases. Mohammed Isa El Hamadi, director of the criminology department, stressed that the application of this type of fingerprint technology, which again, I don't think it's fingerprint technology, I think it's just simply a mind reading device, but that's the way they're labeling it in terms of its forensic, I guess, appeal, depends on psychology, explaining that a person's memory stores life events and details and experiences, and when they appear before a person again, right? The brain stimulates and emits waves as a result of the retrieval of these events, and thus the extent of a person's knowledge of the events can be measured by measuring electrical waves the brain emits after viewing the pictures. It is known as a P300, and I don't know why that designation is of any importance, but that's just what the article says. He continued, Dubai police measures these waves originating from the brain after a person sees images related to the location or the tool of the crime, and then provides an accurate analytical reading about whether the person or suspect was present in the location of the crime and whether, and this is kind of using pronouns here, whether he knows the tool used or even identify the victim by the frequency of those waves. So that concludes the article. And so I'm just kind of tossing this out there for you all. As you know, I like to talk a lot about spirituality and science matters. And this is definitely a science matter, which kind of a sobering thought because now we have several states that are trying to push forward legislation to either restrict or ban mind reading devices because that was only in 2021. In 2024, we've made even more breakthroughs where literally they can put this mind reading device on your head and you will start thinking, and whatever you're thinking is actually going to be turned into text, so that it's like trying to basically show what you're thinking without you opening your mouth. And that would be very helpful in an instance like, let's say, if you're a quadriplegic, right? In other words, if you're, top, bottom, paralyzed, and you can't really do much, you can't even move your lips properly, then in those kind of cases, and you have these, um, like let's say Mr. Hawking or whatever, right? I think he was not 100% paralyzed, but very closely. But I think he was able to do something where he moved a part of his body and it like acted like a keyboard to the interface so that he was able to express himself through a computerized voice, right? But here now we're going a step further. Like we don't have to make the person do all the work to communicate. You can just take the thoughts from their brain directly, and then it will be turned into text, either which people can read, or maybe it will start reading it out loud, so that you can hear the thoughts that are going on in a person's head, and that is amazing but scary, right? Because like I said, if you think about the Minority Report, it could lead to abuses, right? Because what if they have these devices installed on citizens at certain jobs and workplaces, or for different reasons, maybe public safety, maybe we move towards a surveillance state, maybe like if we have another 9/11. You saw after 9/11 we were willing to give a lot of freedoms, right, in the form of the Patriot Act, which basically said that oh, yes, I know our country has these guarantees to privacy, but we're going to have to lower them for the time being because the public safety is tantamount to our highest priority right now, and because of that, we need to kind of be able to monitor people more so we can prevent the next terror attack. And so, in the name of public safety, sometimes our legislatures will act in ways that could be in opposition to our rights that we're guaranteed as Americans. Um, like what would be a really good example of that? I mean, obviously the use of drones is something that people are concerned about, because drones can basically go anywhere and everywhere. And so what information should the police be able to record with drones? Because if you have a drone and they have all kinds of magnifying technology that allows them to see into different places, they can then record your activities with a camera from a vantage point that they wouldn't be able to do normally, unless maybe they were flying overhead in a helicopter, or they were positioned at a certain point in a building, across the way. We're always concerned about our privacy. I mean, I think you even heard of the situation where they had infrared cameras and they were using these infrared cameras to look into people's houses and read heat signatures. And the authorities had argued at the time that was going on. This is like maybe, I think, more than maybe 20 years ago, maybe yeah, I want to say, yeah, maybe even more than that. That you don't have a right to hide from the police the heat signatures in your house. But I mean, these heat signatures are pretty much a way to be able to see into the house. You don't see, high definition images, but you can see, images of those things that have the most heat. And so, in particular, they used to use that against drug traffickers because if individuals had like a marijuana grow house in their garage or some room in the house, they could see this heat activity that's being given off, because a lot of times they're using what they call hydroponics. Hydroponics involves like indoor growth of different plants or crops, and then they need to have these high intensity lamps that basically will act like the way the sun acts. In other words, plants need um, UV rays from the sun. So these high intensity lamps will do that, because since they're hiding this growing facility inside, you're not going to have access to the sun. And so once the police see that, once they see all of these high heat signatures being emitted from these lamps, they'll be like, okay, I think that's a marijuana grow house. Let's get a warrant. Let's search that house. I'm almost certain that they're engaged in illegal drug activity. And so it took the U.S. Supreme Court years later to finally say enough, that they actually forbid this, saying that, we believe the Constitution guarantees a certain right to privacy. Even though the police are saying this is great for detecting, drug activity, things like that, it can also detect other things. For example, what if you are having a private moment with your partner? And then your partner could be whoever you're into, man, female, any person, and you're in the bedroom and you're engaged in the sexual activity. They peer into your bedroom, they're going to see two figures having sex with one another, and that's invasive, and that's very embarrassing and humiliating. And as American citizens, we have a right to prevent against that. So, how much of a right do you think we'll have to protect against these devices? That people will say, well, I think for the safety of all, more people should have these devices, should be required to use these devices. I think there was even another article, which I don't have here, but I could cover in another post, that there were some schools, and I'm assuming these are schools abroad, in which they actually put these things on the children's heads, so that way the teacher could make sure that they are focused on their lessons, they're focused on paying attention, they're not focused on goofing off and doing things that are obstructive to the school function, in the name of keeping order in the schools. Again, this is a slippery slope. So I hope you liked and enjoyed this message. If you're new here, you're welcome to Safe Space. Welcome aboard. If you're returning, thank you so much. Your support makes this channel possible. Again, please like, share, and subscribe. I love you. I love you. I love you. Have a wonderful and blessed day. Take care.